Look out, y'all, Ashy Knuckles. Um, I got a topic, man. I wanted to discuss with y'all and see what y'all thought about it. What's going on with these fighters of the day, man? I'm so tired of hearing fighters saying how they're so fucking throwback when they do nothing that would identify themselves as a throwback fighter. The era that they fight in is nothing like the era of the throwback, and in a way they need to be glad because of it, because taking fights on short notice didn't just start yesterday. That is indicative of the era of the throwback, where fights weren't just arranged ahead of time, where you have a proper training camp. A lot of fighters had to take fight on a short notice. They had to, go city to city, state to state, look for fights, um, making, small cottages their homes on the road on the way. You know what I'm saying? Just that was the era of the throwback. Shit. These guys today, man, are pampered. I'm glad that they are actually seeing money, because that's one thing that'll help. Because like I've said in a previous video, boxing has given us memorable fights and has also have given us tragic endings. And I'm glad they're getting money, but I'm not talking about the financial rewards from getting in the ring. I'm talking about a fighter's temperament when in the ring. They'll finally get a big high profile fight or a marquee fight, and when they get in there, it seems like once they feel like that they can't do any more to win, they are reluctant to fight with the same fire they came out in round one with. You know what I'm saying? And I got several examples of this. Most people were doing a video on the possibility of Amir Khan fighting Chris Algieri, and that got me thinking about Algieri's performance against Manny Pacquiao, in which he was doing well early in the fight, but as Manny Pacquiao began to get a read on him, on his timing, and he started letting his hands go, being more busy, and landing flush on Algieri, it just seems like as the fight wore on in the second half, Algieri just did what he had to do to make sure that he survived, and so he could say that he went 12 with Manny Pacquiao. That was his reward for the fight, because that's what it seemed like he was exuding in the ring. I didn't see the confidence in the second half that I saw in the first half. Even though Manny Pacquiao was getting to him, I didn't see that dog in him to say, all right, now let me turn it up another notch and go back at this guy. It's like mentally he checked out, and he was like, well, you know what? I've conceded defeat without verbally saying it, but my body language is going to tell you I've conceded defeat, but not by KO. Like, I'm going to go ahead and do what I have to do to finish this fight, but I will finish this fight on my feet. And that was his victory. And the reason why I say that's how I interpreted it, because when he was interviewed, I'm surprised he didn't have a Team Pacquiao jacket on. Man, Manny Pacquiao, man, he was just great, and the hand speed is great and all that, and that that's cool to give kudos to your opponent. That's very classy. But every answer was, oh man, that Manny Pacquiao. It seemed like he got louder and louder every time he was giving kudos to Manny Pacquiao, so the crowd can hear it and they can cheer him on. Now, granted, they were in China, and the audience was probably 99.4% Asian. But at the end of the day, none of those members of the audience could get in the ring. It's not like they were going to do anything to you. In between bells, you got to do what you got to do to win as a fighter. That's supposed to be your approach. And I'm just saying, guys are just so comfortable going the distance that trying to win once they face some adversity in the ring Trying to win is just a foregone conclusion. And then they have the nerve to say, "Oh, I'm like a throwback fighter." My motherfucking ass. There is nothing throwback about you. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Long gone are the days of, like, I'll even say most recently, guys like Diego Corrales. Corrales fought the way he spoke. You know what I'm saying? And with Corrales, he would always say, "There's only one way I'm losing this fight, and that's on my back." How can you not like a guy like that? And he fought like that. If you beat him, you had to beat his fucking ass because he was never going to stop trying. Now, I'm not saying there are no fighters in today's game like that. There's been several fights where you've seen guys getting their asses just royally handed to them, but they never took their foot off the gas. They never stopped trying. Deep down in their heart, they were trying everything in their arsenal, everything that they can think to pull out of the arsenal to try to win. Look at Lamont Peterson when he fought Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley probably fought the best fight of his life that night. He boxed in spots, he counterpunched in spots, and he outfought Peterson in spots. But Peterson, once he hit that canvas and got up, he poured him a fresh glass of turnip juice. And I don't mean turnip as in the vegetable. I mean turn up. Because he went after Bradley with a fucking desire to win like none other. And sure, Bradley was shutting down everything he was trying, but he was going after Bradley. He never stopped trying to win. That's what I like to see in a fighter. Now, granted, I don't fight. I know what these guys go through. I know the rigor that they put their bodies through. But that's the path you chosen. You know what I'm saying? That's the path you chose. And if you're saying to the boxing audience that I'm gonna be like my predecessors, like the guys that came before me, I'm gonna fight with the same intensity, heart, and desire like them, that's what I expect to see. If I'm gonna spend my money, if I'm tuning in, giving the channel, the network ratings, which in turn is gonna put dollars in your pocket and get you more exposure and get you back on the network, then I want you to fight, be a fighter. Show me what a fighter's temperament looks like, because I've seen it hundreds of times. And is that you or not? And if it ain't you, I don't want to see you on the television. Regardless if you lose or not, I want to see a guy who's coming in the ring to take full advantage of rounds 1 through round 12 trying to win. Look at when Shawn Porter fought Kell Brook. Kell Brook opened up a can of whoop ass in the dressing room before he even heard his name announced, before they even introduced him to come into the ring. He beat the dog shit out of Shawn Porter, but Shawn Porter never packed it in. Shawn Porter never just said, "Well, I'm getting my ass whooped. Let me just do what I gotta do to survive the fight." He was on Kell Brook the whole time, trying to win. He never stopped trying, and he took flush right hand after flush right hand. Kell Brook couldn't miss with those straight shots. Lighten up that big head of Shawn Porter. You know what I'm saying? It took that title. But you can't hate on. Now, people want to hate on Shawn Porter. Oh, he a bum. He was exposed. Dude, the dude gave everything, every ounce of fighter that was in him that night, and he lost. But you want to see a guy like Chris Algieri again. A guy that packed it in against Pacquiao and was on Team Pacquiao at the end of the fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that shit. If you're going to give a guy praise like that, I want to see that you were on his ass for the whole fight. And you tried to fuck him up the whole time. Excuse my language, but that's how passionate us as boxing fans are. And sometimes, in the past I used to try to hold it for other reasons, but I'm not holding that shit. I want you to feel what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're feeling the same way. You boxing hardcore just like me. And for the guys that are new to the sport, this is the way you need to feel. You know what I'm saying? Look at and a guy who y'all know I don't like Ishe Smith. But one thing I will give Ishe Smith in his last fight with Lara is Lara was beating his fucking ass, outboxing the shit out of Ishe Smith. But Ishe Smith went hard in that fight. He never stopped trying to win, and he earned stripes with me. He earned stripes with me. Even not that he give a damn about earning stripes with Ash. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that don't, enter in his head, "Oh, I gotta win stripes with Ash." You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying the effort and performance that he put forth in that losing effort was better than any of his victims. You know what I'm saying? And if he would have fought like that in all of his fights, he wouldn't have the losses that he has. You know what I'm saying? He never stopped trying. That's what I want to see out of these fighters. If you're going to lose, go after the guy and try to win. Fuck the confines and the safety of survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Because that may be a moral victory for you, but to me, that's a minus on you. That makes you look like the ultimate fucking broad to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, in your mind, it's like, well, I'm not going to win this fight. Let me just coast for the last 4 rounds, backpedal. There's my bicycle. Let me hop on that and just kind of, get away from this guy. Throw a couple of jabs here and there just to keep a little distance. And, I could say I went the distance with the champ. You know what I'm saying? Look at Austin Trout versus Canelo. Canelo hopped on that ass. Trout never stopped trying to win. But then you get guys like, look at John Molina against Broner. John Molina earned his reputation by being a guy who never stopped trying, who always put it all on the line to the last minute of a fight to win it. And what did he do when he got in the ring with Adrian Broner? He fought with his hands in his pocket the entire fight, and then get on the mic and say Adrian Broner ran from him. Are you serious, dude? The only thing Adrian Broner was running was them combinations off your monkey ass. That's the only thing Adrian Broner was running. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, look, if I'm tripping, let me know. But I know what I see in the ring. Body language says a lot of things in boxing. You can read a lot from reading a guy's body language. And survival mode, like, to me, you lose more points with the boxing fans. So I know you lose more points with me by trying to survive than you would ever by going hard to the last minute, even if you lose or get knocked the fuck out. Because giving your effort to the end is how we get memorable fights like Israel Vasquez versus Rafael Marquez. They fought 4 times. Classic fights. Giving every ounce of you is how we get Gotti Ward. You know what I'm saying? Thriller in Manila. The trilogy of Ali and Frazier. Giving it all you got, man. And if you give it all you got and you get knocked the fuck out, I don't think that loss is anything to cry about if you fought tooth and nail to the bitter end and the guy was just the better man that night. But if you backpedal and put your Asics on and start jogging around the ring just so you can say you went 12, to me you look more like a broad. And I know why they do that, because eventually this era of boxing fans, will grow old and will pass on, you know what I'm saying, and kind of pass the knowledge down to the youngins. But at the end of the day, what's on the sheet, what's on the resume is going to be a microcosm of a guy's career. And guys are going to look back at their resume and be like, look, he never got knocked out though. He went the distance a couple of times, but nobody could ever knock him out. That's why they do that shit. That's how they want to be remembered, as a tough as nails. They may have lost, but they never stopped trying. They always gave it all they have, and they went the distance in close fights and stuff like that. That's why they do that shit. But in the grand scheme of things, the guys that's gonna look back at these guys' records, they're not gonna have any history. So that's all they're gonna have to go off of is the names and the numbers. The rounds that they went, the numbers on their record, wins and losses, and the names of the guys that they fought. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, you're not going to be able to tell what went on really in that fight. Especially if you can't dig up the old footage. Now, there's no guarantee that footage is going to be around. There are fights I look for right now that I would like to see again. I can't find them. You know what I'm saying? So there's no guarantee all this footage is going to be available for the next generation of boxing fans. But I'm just saying, when the next generation come around, and if they ever try to get information from me about what they're supposed to see in the ring, I'm going to say a fight like Kovalev versus Pascal. Kovalev is crusher. He's hot right now. He got stupid power. You know what I'm saying? Crazy power. He got good hitting power. He can box. He got very underrated boxing skills. But most people know him because he got that thud. He'll put them hands on you and kind of discombobulate you. But in that fight with Pascal, Pascal know he was seeing 5 Kovalevs in the ring. He know he was dizzy as fuck. The referee and they stopped the fight, but he did not want to stop fighting. He never stopped trying. And that's why I can't turn my back on a guy like Pascal, because he gave you every ounce of him. And if a guy's not gonna do that, when they get their opportunity to fight in these marquee fights, I don't want to see that shit, bro. Now I'm all for guys getting their opportunity, but it's what you do with them opportunities, in my opinion. And if you just gonna pack it in, you might as well pack your shit and hit the road, because I don't want to see that shit. Like I said, it's the profession that these guys chosen, and I seldomly get on a fighter for issues and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, it's not easy being a combatant. It's not easy being a combatant. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you gotta hold these guys accountable in some kind of way, and this is one way that you can hold them accountable. So for the guys that are packing it in early, not trying to win for the whole duration of the fight, just so they can get on the mic and give praise to their opponent, in effort to look classy in a fight that they gave up 4 or 5 rounds ago, I don't want to see them on my TV no more, man. Don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. I'd rather see a guy give me all he got, whether he gets clipped or he goes the distance, he never stops trying. Give me that guy. I'll watch that guy every night of the week in boxing. Point blank, period. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that. It wasn't really as in depth as I thought I was going to go with it. I hope it was good enough for you guys. But I'm not with it, man. I don't know what you guys think about the ultimate safety of survival mode for today's fighters, and how they're quick to say how they're throwback, but they don't fight like it. A guy like Keith Thurman, I don't want to keep bringing the guy's name up. Enough people bring his name up. I mean, for good reasons. You know what I'm saying? When Tito was around, you heard his name quite often for the same reasons. You know what I'm saying? For the same reasons. Big power, good boxing skills. But the fact of the matter with Keith Thurman, you're going to have to knock him out if you want to win. Look at the fight with Chavez. He got touched in that fight. Keith Thurman got hurt in that fight. But he didn't pack it in, man. He kept trying. He kept making adjustments. He kept letting his hands go. And at the end of the day, one time came through. Those are the type of guys I want to see fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for this guy to get his opportunity. If you can get the Chris Algieri's of the world a shot at Pacquiao, I want to see Keith Thurman get his shot at Pacquiao, or get his shot with Amir Khan, or get his shot with Mayweather. A guy who actually gonna give me my money's worth from 1 to 12. Never stop trying and going after them guys. You know what I'm saying? Trying to win. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see nobody who pack it in after 6 rounds, 7 rounds, and be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna beat this guy. Let me just go the distance and say he ran from me the whole time. I don't want to see that shit no more, man. I'm sick of that. No more of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see a guy fight with a fighter's temperament. So what you guys think, man? I mean, y'all cool with that? You cool with guys backpedaling for the last 4 rounds, last 5 rounds, because mentally they checked out and they're like, well, fuck it, I'm not gonna beat the guy. Let me just, survive for the rest of the fight. What is your theory on survival mode? Good for boxing, bad for boxing. Good for fighters, bad for fighters. That's the ultimate self-perseverance. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate. Well, I don't want to endure no more punishment, so let me just go the distance. There's no guarantee you're going to endure more punishments. You may dial up the right adjustment, and who knows, win the fight. It is boxing. So I don't know what's going on with these guys, man. You let me know what you think. It's your boy Ash, man. Holla.